Fantastic. All right. We will take our pedal off of the NBA, unless you want to talk about Lillard's comments they made like 2 hours ago. Despicable.
What's despicable? The comments or he
What
said
he,
despicable?
what he said, just mentioning that he wouldn't show up for camp if he was traded to a quote team like Toronto. Yeah, so we get to bathe in that for the next couple of days, but
Okay.
yeah, Lillard showing his true colors, I guess, here at the very end, trying to get out of Portland as we get closer to training camp. We'll step aside that and head to the football fan cave here with a recap of week one of the NFL. It's back, baby. It's back. And for those who are so excited for NFL football and lots of points, they had to wait a couple of extra hours because the first early slate of games was sloppy. There were a ton of turnovers. There were a ton of penalties, people going offside on field goals and stuff like that. Like everyone just antsy and jumpy and just led for some really disjointed, slow moving, messy games. And a couple of exciting results. I mean, the game of the day, I'd say, has to be the Miami Dolphins versus the Los Angeles Chargers. We said it was going to be weird and wacky. It ended up having a couple of interesting moments, but overall, Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, what a combination. Tua goes for 460 yards, the fourth most ever in a week one NFL game, and Tyreek Hill goes for 260 receiving yards and two touchdowns. He was just far and away the best player on the field on Sunday. No one could touch him. He was open everywhere and just so fast, so electric, so fun to watch. The Chargers offense looked prolific in its own right, but when they needed to score most, they got sacked twice in a row and go down. And it's a disappointing loss to start the season and a big win for the Dolphins as they head to New England for week two. Another disappointing starter of that NFL draft class, Joe Burrow. No training camp, coming off the calf injury, so plenty of excuses up front. The weather was not ideal for their air raid style offense, but the Browns also played in that weather. And Deshaun Watson, I'll give him a grade of a B plus this weekend, and did enough. And the Cleveland Browns defense was the best unit in that game, really shocking folks who weren't paying attention to the talent that this team had coming out of camp, and they walloped the Bengals 24-3 at home to set their season off on the right track.
I don't know who the player was, but I saw someone on the Bengals I can't, it was like a little video. It said, like, I called them all elves
Oh,
and we got
Jamar Chase.
walloped by elves.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, their wide receiver one. The Browns, when they do their retros, they have an elf on the field as the like middle logo,
Mm.
and just called basically the city of Cleveland Elves, and yeah, got his butt handed to him. A really dominant performance by Cleveland. It's got to have their fans super exciting going forward. Couple of dominations here. 49ers dominate the Steelers in a game that most were looking forward to and hope to be closer, but this 49ers defense is one of, if not the best units in the NFL. They fly around on defense. They make plays. They're fast. They're explosive. They're physical. And Brock Purdy, again, just really had to manage the game, let Christian McCaffrey cook, let Deebo Samuel cook. And then, of course, Brandon Ayuk, a first round wide receiver that often gets overlooked on this team, goes for two touchdowns and was really explosive. And this 49ers, they're a Super Bowl contender this year for sure.
I was curious about Purdy going in. Like a lot of the times, that's like one and done magic. You get your
Mhm.
one season, so or
I,
one game isn't everything, but that still feels really big to me. Like if
yeah.
he can
Well,
be solid and continue being solid and not like, I'm thinking about
yeah.
hockey goalies more than anything else. Like,
Totally. Like the thing with Brock is we still won't ever know how good he is unless there's some significant injuries to the San Francisco team, just because their roster as a whole is so amazing that
yeah,
he really just has to hand the ball off, make his first couple reads. Um, but who knows? There will be some moments this season when he's needed to step up. So fascinating to see if, like you said, he is above average or simply just steering the ship in the right direction.
fair weather sailing.
Exactly. Other domination, much to the chagrin of Chicago fans. Once again, Green Bay owns Chicago. It doesn't matter which franchise quarterback is behind center. It seems like they have a new one now in Jordan Love, who looked not special, but competent in the win. Green Bay, Chicago, kind of close at halftime, and then the Packers adjust. Second half, come out, dominate. Bears defense can't get a stop. Their offense really can't get rolling. And Bears fans finally thought they had a guy in Justin Fields that could turn the franchise around, finally win this matchup. But Green Bay continues to own Chicago, and the tears, I'm sure, taste very sweet in Wisconsin this week. Moving on, the Eagles and the Commanders survived their games where they were favored. Eagles beating New England in Foxborough on a night where they honored Tom Brady. Patriots fans had to watch their team not get it done down the stretch with a guy in the stands who always got it done down the stretch. So just a tough look for them. And then, of course, the Commanders' first game of the new era without Dan Snyder in ownership. The vibes were tremendous. The team didn't play exceptional. Their defense is really solid, but that Cardinals defense looked much better than everyone had anticipated, and the Commanders squeaked by with a win. Upsets. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go into Minnesota and upset Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. Cousins had over 350 yards, but just didn't look great overall operating that offense. So they're going to have some major adjustments to make. And then the Los Angeles Rams with a couple of rookie wide receivers or first and second year wide receivers go into Seattle and get a big divisional upset win. And Sean McVay just continues to own Pete Carroll in that matchup. Finally, tonight's or Sunday night's game, we were looking forward to an exciting Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants game, and one of the teams didn't show up. Just didn't bother to show up. 40-0, 7 sacks.
Hey, I was doing the tennis scores.
A block kick, exactly. Block kick, interception, pick six. Cowboys defense. Whew, what a statement. Like, incredible performance. One of the best you'll see all season. Just made Daniel Jones' life miserable, and the Giants fans who, after a season of promise where they made the playoffs, they actually won a first round playoff game. They got to feel like they're so much further away now because that is a massive loss. And Dak Prescott didn't have to really do anything for the Cowboys, so he hasn't been tested yet. But this defense is super, super exciting in Dallas. They've got dogs all over the field there. My fantasy player of the week, just rolling it back here to the Rams Seahawks game. 5th round pick, first rounder, Puka Nacua, with 10 receptions, 119 yards. To those super savvy fantasy players, one of the 2% that picked him up and started him this week, I salute you. No one saw this guy coming. He's going to be at the top of the waiver wire in every league this week. A great game by him. Obviously, with no Cooper Kupp, there were lots more targets to go around and share, and Van Jefferson was not the wide receiver one that everyone thought he would be. So instead, Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell received a lion's share of the throws from Matt Stafford, who likes to throw the ball around. And if he's healthy, then this is a great pickup moving forward in the rest of your season. Looking forward to the Bills-Jets kicking off just around now. We'll have lots to talk about next time when we get back from week 2, but just an awesome first week of NFL football. It's back, baby. It's back.